Hi, scientists. Are you ready to do a little experiment with wood? Well, our focus question today is, how can you change the shape of wood? How can you change the shape of wood? That's what we're going to figure out today. And we have a couple of things to do this experiment. We had our focus question, and you have this stuff. Do you know what this is? This is called sandpaper, and you have a little piece of it. Sandpaper. Basically, it's exactly what it sounds like. It is paper with sand glued onto it. And this is a tool that woodworkers use to change the shape of wood, to take off splinters, and to make wood surfaces smooth. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our basswood, and you all have a piece of basswood. See, we used this basswood before. You can see that the shape has been changed a little bit already. But notice what your basswood looks like. And we're going to try to change the shape of that wood. And our challenge is to change the shape. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a look at your basswood, and in your science notebook, draw a picture about what it looks like. How did I do? I just drew a rectangle because my basswood kind of looks like a rectangle. So now I'm going to try to change the shape. So I'm going to use a paper plate. If you have one of these at home, you can use a piece of paper, or a paper plate would be better. I'm going to put my wood on the plate. You're going to basically take the sandpaper and rub back and forth on the wood and see if you can change the shape of the wood. I'm going to try to take back and forth. Now, my wood was, my corner was pretty sharp. I'm going to try to sand it down a little and make it less sharp. What am I doing to my wood right now? I'm brushing it off, and look at what's falling onto the paper plate. What is that? What is that? That is called sawdust. And the sawdust is the little bits of wood. You can see some of the sawdust clinging to the wood. Do you see? The sawdust is the wood that comes off when I sand it. Now I've made it really smooth. I don't know if you can see it on the film. This is very sharp here. I mean, not sharp like going to hurt me sharp, but here is all kind of rounded. It's not really a sharp edge anymore. It's not really a sharp corner. And what I've shaved off the wood lands on the paper plate. And that has come off because the sand rubs against the wood and just brings off little tiny pieces of the wood. And that makes it very smooth, and it changes the shape of the wood. You may notice, like right here, there's little flecks of black. If you do some sanding, you might see little flecks of black. This is a little fleck of black there and a little fleck of black there. That's actually pieces of the sandpaper that are coming off the paper. And that's why you might see those. So when you have sanded, I don't want you to do too much. I want you to make a little bit of sawdust. And then what you can do is draw a picture first. Draw a picture of what your wood looks like now. I tried to draw my wood with the rounded edge. Now we're going to glue our focus question to the top, just like that, to the top of the page. So now you have your wood before you sanded it and your wood after you sanded it. And then the next thing I want you to do is to glue that sawdust onto your notebook. Take a look. I'm going to take some glue and just put it right in the middle here. And mine's purple so you can see. Now I'm going to take that paper plate and sprinkle the sawdust onto my notebook and press it down into the glue. There we go. If you'd rather put the sawdust on your book and then put a piece of tape over it like that, that will work too. We're going to answer the focus question. How can you change the shape of wood? And we're going to write the word sandpaper. And then you're going to just I'm going to write here maybe a little arrow, and I'm going to write sawdust. There you go. And we've answered the focus question. How did we change the shape of wood? We used sandpaper, and it made sawdust. And the sawdust is the little tiny bits of wood that come off the piece when you sand it. Were you able to change the shape of your wood? How did you do it? What was the best technique? Did you go back and forth in a hard way or gently? Did you go in the same spot or go in different spots? Did you notice how the wood felt after you sanded it? So let's talk about a little bit of the vocabulary. Paper with sand glued onto it is called sandpaper, and sandpaper is used to change the shape and smooth wood. We use the sandpaper to sand wood. A person who works with wood is called a woodworker. When we rub the wood with sandpaper, the dust that comes off the wood is called sawdust. And that is what we are doing for science today. I'm going to need you to send the basswood back to school. We are going to use it again next year with next year's kindergarten. So please put the basswood back in your backpack or right in your blue folder. You can put it right in the folder and I'll find it there. And I'll put it away for next year. It's important that we have it for our experiment next year. Thank you so much. Have a great day.